On page 99, figure 15.5, you see the British Romantic painter Turner and Turner's painting Slave Ship. The story, a ship is caught in a storm. You see the wooden ship over here. The ship is caught in a storm. I'm told that if you're on a ship about this size and you're caught in a big storm like this, then the best thing to do is to throw as much overboard as you can to make the ship lighter, so the ship rides higher up in the water, and it's less likely for the waves to wash over and swamp the boat and send the boat down to the bottom. Even if that means throwing the cargo overboard, that means that nobody makes any money off the trip at all, but possibly the ship and the crew can survive the storm. In this case, the ship is a slave ship. The cargo is human cargo, and the slaves have been jettisoned into the water. You see them floating down here, rather improbably still in their chains. And over here you see them being attacked by sharks. Back here you see a very large shark moving in on the attack. But it isn't going to work. The waves are washing over that ship as we look at it, and that ship is going to be at the bottom of the ocean in 6 or 7 minutes. Well, here we've got, again, the elements of Romanticism. We've got the bigness of nature. Look how much of the canvas is given over to the sky. We have the big waves, the big storm clouds up here, the big sharks over here. Of course, we have the suffering of the slaves in the water. And very clearly the anti-slavery message of the painting, the social commentary, very clearly pointing out the moral problem of slavery, which is treating people like property rather than treating people like people, treating persons as property, like they're owned. That's a poisonous mindset. It shows up in all kinds of different relationships. Well, here we see slavery, maybe the best example of what happens when that kind of attitude of treating people like property ends up in this case, a labor relationship. All kinds of horrible things happen when people are treated as if they're owned rather than if they are persons. This painting painted for the first meeting of the World Anti-Slavery Conference in 1840. The World Anti-Slavery movement is still around today. That surprises some Americans. Americans tend to think that since slavery has been illegal in the United States for a long time, it must not exist anywhere else in the world, but it certainly does exist in other parts of the world today. There are people being bought and sold around the world in a number of different places. And if that interests you, you can certainly find out more about slavery today. But this painting painted for that first meeting in 1840, which really launched the world anti-slavery movement. So again, we have a painting which fits very well into the Romantic movement.